Hi, boys and girls. Today you're going to take a look at the data that you got last week when you took a class vote about favorite activities on the playground. We were looking at what kinds of kinetic activities are kids picking when they have recess here at VES. And we took some data from the boys in Mrs. Cull and Mrs. Truax's room, and you're looking at that data right here in front of you. And we also took data from the girls. And we're going to make charts, graphs about that data, and then we're going to compare and see how the graphs look. So take a look at the boys' data right now, and we don't have the girls' data up right here. I'm going to use this one to show you the project, but take a look at the boys' data and see if you can decide in your mind what kind of a graph would show this data the most effectively. So think about the kinds of graphs that you know about. Imagine if you can imagine what kind of a graph would show this data real efficiently. I like the looks of a bar graph, and a bar graph a lot of times is real easy for me to read, and I can tell by looking at this that each of these activities could be along the bottom of a bar graph, and the number of kids who chose that activity could represent a bar climbing up the bar graph, and that would be a real easy way for me to read this data. I think a bar graph would work real well. What about a pie chart for this? Or a circle graph, the kind that's color-coded? I think that would work well for this data as well. So we're going to look at this data, we're going to plug this data in, and we're going to let's make a bar graph and a pie chart with this. So here we go. First thing you need is to get a copy of this data sheet, and if you don't have one yet, go over to the table at the side of the room where the computers are and get a pink one if you're a girl and a blue one if you're a boy. And once you get that, you can pause this and go get it. Once you get it, you're ready to go into numbers and start your chart. So your dock is probably along the bottom of your screen. Mine's along the side here. So you're going to go and choose numbers first. I'm going to go ahead and open up a numbers document. You do the same. And I'm going to move it over so you can see it. There we go. Okay, here's my numbers document. And I'm going to click on blank, or I'm going to click choose. This is the one I want. And here it is. And you can only see a part of the screen on mine. I'm going to move this over a little so you can see more. There you go. This is all you really need to be able to see to start. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to go up to the very first white box, and you can see it right here. And this is where we're going to label, we're going to make a label for our graph. So we're going to call this activity, and we're going to list the activities below this. So in that very first box, it's really B2. Type the word activity. I like to use all caps for this. So type in activity. If you'd like to pause this movie while you type it, go ahead and pause. You've probably got one open next to this. So you're working on the desktop while you're looking at the movie. And once you have this label typed in, go ahead and type the label for the other axis of your graph, which is going to show the number of kids. So I'm going to just say number of votes. Number of votes. Okay? And once you get each of those labels, you're ready to start plugging information in. So go back over to activity. And underneath it, I'm still going to use capitals for this. I'm going to list the activities just like they are on the data sheet. So my first activity is to play a game outside. I'll type that one first. And I'm going to look across from it, and I'm going to go right under it. And I'm going to take the next one, I'm going to type the next one, which is playground. I'm going to type the next one, which is art project. Whoops, I spelled it wrong. I'm going to type the next one, which is walking and talking, and I'm not even going to put spaces in that one because it's too many letters. And then my last one is reading. Nobody chose to play a game inside, so we didn't include that in our data. So we've got 5 categories. Go ahead and pause this movie right now while you type in the rest of your categories. And yours are going to look just like mine. Okay. Once you're finished, you're ready to put the number of votes in. So I am not going to put the number of votes that you have on your score sheet because I don't want to spoil the surprise. So I'm just going to use the number the numbers 1 and 2 for all mine. So how many kids want to play a game outside? I'm going to say 1, but you have a different number on your data sheet. So take a look at your data sheet and put the number of kids who voted for game outside in this box right here. Underneath that, how many kids voted that they wanted their favorite activity was to play on the playground? Put that number here. I'm going to put 2, but that's not the number you have. Next one, how many kids said they wanted to do an art project? I'm going to put 1, but you've got a different number on yours. Next one, walking and talking. How many kids said walking and talking? I'm going to say 2, but you've got a different number on your data sheet, so you type your number in there. And then reading, I'm going to put 0 on mine, but you may or may not have a different number. Actually, I'm going to put 2 again, and you have a different number. So go ahead and type in 2. Pause right here if you need more time. And when you're finished with that, click outside the box to tell the computer you're finished with that. And you are ready to make your graph. So here we go. Step 3. Very important step right here. If you don't do this step, the computer won't know what to turn into a graph, so you have to tell it. So what you're going to do is highlight this data that you want the computer to include, and it's okay that votes doesn't fit in there. It will. As long as you get the beginning of it, it will fit in there. So number of votes, activity, I've got all my data highlighted here, and I'm going to go up here and click charts. And I'm going to pick one of these bar graphs. There are 4 types. 2 of them are vertical, 2 of them are horizontal, and these are the ones that are 3D. You can choose any of these bar graphs. I'm going to choose the 3D vertical because that's how I can read data really easily. And I'm going to click it. I'm going to get rid of this inspector. And I'm going to look down here where my chart is. Whoops. I'm going to get that up here higher. Get rid of this. That's okay. You can see it. Okay, now, are you noticing that not all of my stuff is showing up here at the bottom? Are you noticing that I've only got games outside and walking and talking? That's because, let's move it over a little. That's because it's squished, and I need to bigify it. And so your way to make it bigger is to grab this handle on the side right here and pull it out. And pull it out till you get all your labels in there. There they are. There's all my labels. Okay? Now, there is one thing missing on this, and it's a title. So your way to fix the title is to go up to chart 1, click it, and then that's going to let you get inside of there and type. And I'm going to call mine Favorite Girls Recess Activities. I had to use an apostrophe for girls because it was more than one girl. I had to use it after the S to show that this is something that the girls have picked. Favorite Girls Recess Activities, we'll call this one. If you're doing a boys one, of course, you're going to want to say Favorite Boys Recess Activities, or maybe you have a different title that's descriptive. Okay, and this chart is done. Now, I think I'd also like to make a pie chart. So on mine, I'm going to get rid of this so I can show you the pie chart, but don't get rid of yours. Don't get rid of yours, because actually, let me get on here and make this a little bit smaller so we have room. There we go. Okay. Okay, now I'll have room to make my circle chart too. You don't have to do this. I just dragged this up to make it smaller so I could show you my pie chart too. Okay, I'm ready to make a circle chart, but it's not going to work right now. Why not? It's not going to work because I haven't highlighted my data. So go back up here, highlight the data that you want on your chart. There it is. Go up to the chart pull down menu. I'm picking a pie chart, and boom, there it is. And if you scroll down a little, you can see the labels at the bottom that show what each section represents. Boy, I really like this way of showing the data. This really, at a glance, shows me, my chart's going to look way different from yours based on the numbers I put in, but I still don't have a title. So I'm going to have to go fix the title. Favorite Girls. Let's make this the boys. Boys. Recess Activities. Okay, you are allowed to make 2 of these. One pie chart and one bar graph. One bar graph and one circle graph. Okay, and once you finish making both of them, you're finished with the activity, so it's time for you to save it. So what are you going to do? You're going to go up to the top of the screen and press File, press Save. You're going to call it Your Name. I'm going to get rid of my caps. Your Name Graphs. Okay? Make sure you put your name on it because you're going to be saving this on your flash drive. So save it on your desktop. It's going to go over to your desktop and be saved over there, and we're not going to go look at it from here. Once it's saved on your desktop, plug in your flash drive. You'll see it pop up on the screen. Drag your graphs into the flash drive and drop them off there. And then click on the flash drive and open it and make sure your graphs are there. Once you're completely finished, you can safely eject your flash drive, and you remember how to do that. If not, go over to the left-hand side and scroll down till you see eject and click it, and you are done. If you do finish this activity, go back into Brain Honey, and there are several other graphing activities for you to try. One is a pictograph, one is a line graph. So lots of stuff to practice with. Good luck.